Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom Waspinator. And as you can see, he does not have the packaging today because when I originally ordered him, he was delivered to the ship, which is why I finally ended up getting a P.O. box. Might mention that, might not have. Anyway, so that I don't have to worry about packaging arriving all crushed. The packaging is completely crushed, pretty much. Same with another figure, which I'll also be reviewing relatively shortly anyway. Not in this video, of course. But he arrived pretty dinged up, so I was like, no point in keeping the box. And I feel like I must apologize to poor Waspinator, because I initially was like, I hate him. I hate this figure. It does not live up to the Generations or Transformers Generations Waspinator. Which I did some research, looked at the video photos of that figure versus him and the cartoon character model, and he is more cartoon accurate. And I looked at how they look in their bug modes and all that, and he actually. They both are almost identical, like in their molds and stuff. Like it's just like slightly downscaled for him, and there are some changes. One of the biggest ones that I didn't like was the fact that he doesn't have the gimmick where his you can make his wings buzz around. I can't remember if they were on ball joints too in addition to the rotation or not, so you can get quite a bit of posability with the wings on here. And I'm not a huge fan of the purple wings, but I did look at the character model, like I said, and they were purple. Granted, they were like a very, very faint, translucent purple, more clear, with a slight tinge of purple, but they still were purple. And let's take a look at that noggin of his. As you can see, it is very cartoon accurate. You can see his insectoid teeth and his mandibles, his purple insectoid eyes, his antennae, and pretty much like a wasp with a slightly humanoid face. Pretty much is what Waspinator's face is. Looks like he does have some light piping, which I might try to go on show off. And as you can see, it actually looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice indeed. If I can get the camera to focus. There we are. And even his bug eyes, it looks like either it's the paint reflecting or they actually are translucent. So you can see the backlighting, or the light shining through his bug eyes too. So, and then his wings, they don't look as dark now that there's light shining on them. So I guess if you have them in a bright lighted area, it does look a little more translucent like bug wings. It actually looks pretty nice now. Now I have a little bit more light, but then again, I'll turn that back off just so you can see the figure better now. And for articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so you can get a full 360. You look up that far, down that far, wiggly waggly, quite a bit of that. Arms can go up about that far. Then there's a little bit of wiggly waggly, but that's from a joint for transformation. They can do a full 360 like that as well, but his bug legs do get in the way. You can articulate his bug leg too on a swivel. He does have about 90-degree bend at the elbow in both directions, and he does have wrist swivel, which is also more for transformation, but it's also good for robot mode as well. And his antennae are on a swivel. They're not ball joints as much as I would like to think that they are. It'd be nice if they were, but they are a swivel, which is more than Generations. Generations did not have a swivel. It was just molded in, I think. Well, it's glued in there, but it didn't articulate at all. His mandibles are slightly articulated, but I think that's more for transforming to robot mode. He does have a hip swivel, which can do a full 360 if you move the bug mouth out of the way a little bit. But things do get in the way, like his big insectoid legs. And then his feet down here, which are on a ankle tiltage. Yes, ankle tiltage. And I kind of skipped this. He can do the full splits, except his insectoid thorax bottom, whatever it's called, gets in the way. So he definitely can't do the splits. He can do splits in the air, I guess, but he can't do splits on the ground. Knee bend is about 90 degrees. And then a little bit backwards, but that's for transformation as well. And he does have a little bit of thigh swivel, not a whole lot, but enough. And that's about it for articulation. And I haven't really shown off his weapon exclusively on its own. This is, I think, the thing that made me the most upset, other than that one part about his wings not being able to be moved around, is that his gun, it's just the back of his wasp bottom, which these guns have always been like that, but it doesn't really look like a gun. Down here, yeah, I can see what it's supposed to be a little bit like a gun, but really, from a distance, this just doesn't look like a gun. This just looks like the bottom of a wasp. That's what made me the most upset, because at least on Generations, the barrel folded in and it flipped out, and then you hold like this, and it was an actual gun rather than, just wasp bottom. Which is why I kind of just feel like having it stored on him in his robot mode, because it still doesn't look bad in storage. So yeah, that's about it for his robot mode. So let's go on to transformation. I'm always forgetting something. And for one comparison, let's compare him with the first character he encounters, or Maximal he encounters in the show, Cheetor. Of course, Cheetor was in his cheetah mode. He sees the cheetahs freak out that he was running with, that he was running alongside of, and then, yeah, those aren't normally that big. And then he transforms, they have a bit of a shootout, and that's pretty much how they met. And also, he doesn't even come with his proper weapon. He doesn't come with a gun. Yes. I said that in my other review, or original review of him, but yeah, that's about it for a comparison. Alright, now with that little interruption out of the way, let's go ahead and transform Waspinator. So first thing you want to do is to close up his head, like that, pull it up, extend out, then you're going to kind of finagle his head into his robot head into there. There we are. You get kind of down like this, and then you want to tab this into that slot like so, and there we have the upper part of the wasp done. And then you just close his shoulders in, rotate his arm out, and rotate his hand like this, then rotate in. You just want to get these lined up like that. And then rotate his hand in, and then you just pretty much, and they also kind of like to not cooperate that much. Then you want to put this little round peg into this little round hole right there, like that. And the same on this side, of course. And it should look like this should be all nice and lined up. And then you just get his insect legs positioned. And then you want to rotate this around without rotating the other thing around. Then you want to close up his feet or his heels, flip them up like so. Then you just want to get everything all nice and lined up, and then you want to tab his feet together like so. You might have to do it later because it might come undone, but that's kind of how you're supposed to do it in the instruction orders. And then you just collapse everything in, and that's what the backward joint articulation for the knees is for. And you kind of get everything tabbed in. It can be a little tricky to do, and also kind of should have done that earlier, but it doesn't really matter. Just get the legs into position and just get everything all nice and squozen. And here we have him in his wasp mode. And at first, like I said, I was really upset. I was like, no, this is not Waspinator. He looks so bad. But he doesn't look horrible. He actually doesn't look bad at all. Now that I look back looking at him, that's why sometimes it's a good idea to go away from, take a break from a figure, come back to it later, and, see it with clear, fresh eyes rather than in the throes of a little bit of emotion, regret, whatever you want to call it. Because on the Generations one, his arms are actually sticking out up here, but his legs were further up here, so his feet were up here, kind of, so he didn't have the visible shoulders right here, so it looked a little more streamlined rather than the wasp head sitting up here. But considering what they're working with, they downscaled it a little bit. I'm pretty sure Generations was a little bit larger than this. Like I said, kind of really regret giving him up because now I can't do a side-by-side comparison. But that's about it for his Wasp mode. And we'll go ahead and bring Cheetor in for comparison. Now we can definitely see why those cheetahs freaked out. Because, I mean, what would you do if you were a man-eating tiger... cheetah, well, man-eating animal, and then you see this giant insect flying in the sky towards you that could easily take a chomp out of your neck, or more realistically, although he doesn't have the articulation, he's just more of a giant bug figure, statuette that you can't really pose, but, you know, that could go giant stinger and sting you right in your behind, and before you know it, you're on the ground paralyzed, dying, and then, you know, get eaten by a wasp. Oh, very tasty maximal. Waspinator like. Anyway, that's about it for Transformers Kingdom Waspinator. If you like this review and would like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.